Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us for this week's Thursday 30. We have Maria Vonica and Kirsten Gottschalk from TD Sanp with us today to talk about all the various ways that TD Sanp can support communication in SEND settings. So thank you both. I am going to hand over to you now for your presentation. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Thanks for joining us, everyone. So I'm Maria Vonica. I'll go into the next slide in a bit where we introduce ourselves, but we're from TD Sanp. And for today, we're going to be talking about navigating TD Sanp page sets in SEND settings. So as I said, I'm Maria. I'm an AAC training coordinator based in the UK and Ireland, and I'm also an SLT.
And I'm Kirsten. I'm the solutions consultant for London that's working with TD Sanp.
So first, let's discuss what TD Sanp is. So we're going to jump right in. TD Sanp is a flexible and robust software offering professionals and families a choice of AAC solutions. It comes with a set of powerful tools and resources to empower people with speech and language disabilities to communicate. So what we've got on the screen here is just a few examples of our different symbol-based and text-based vocabularies that we have within TD Sanp. So all of these are included within TD Sanp, but they're just different vocabularies and just visually for you to see the differences between these. And we'll go into them in a bit more detail right now. So to start out, some of you might be most familiar with our Core First page set in TD Sanp, which is a symbol-supported page set to support communication. So then we've got our motor plan page set, which is another symbol-supported system to support language development using motor planning and memory. So these are both, again, within TD Sanp. They're just different page sets and layouts. And then we heard about the need for a more simple vocabulary for those that need an easy and intuitive system as an entry point into their AAC journey. So we created a system for emergent users to express their wants and needs. And then TD Sanp Express was created, which will also go into detail. So these are the three page sets that we are going to be discussing in today's presentation. So to start out, first, let's talk about TD Sanp Core First, which is a simple and organized vocabulary page set. It's organized around a core word strategy to maximize engagement, literacy, and growth. It's a symbol-based augmentative and alternative communication platform that uses language systems and vocabulary organized in this page set to meet communication needs. It's a system that grows with the user in terms of language complexity. And then you can also increase the access to the buttons by changing the grid size. So the amount of buttons that are available, you can make that bigger, more buttons available, or you can keep it smaller to have less buttons available at any one time on the screen. So as I mentioned, it's organized a core word strategy. So this means that about 80% of our vocabulary is core words, and these are words that we can use across various circumstances in our vocabulary, whether it's different people, different environments, topics. And so that's where the homepage of Core First is organized. It has a variety of communication tools available, as you can see in the left side. We've got quick fires, we've got topics, a keyboard, and as I mentioned, an expandable grid size. So this is the grid size available on this example. You can also make that bigger where there's more buttons on the screen, or you can make it smaller so that there's less buttons on the screen. So just to touch on some key features of TD Snap Core first. So as I mentioned, first what we've got is the core words page, which is the default main page that pops up. As I said, these are 80% of what we use in daily situations. So we've got words like I or like or want in order for someone to share what they want and like and need. And if you look at the top right side, we've also got word lists. So in that word list, we've got words that are sorted into different categories for easy reference. Then we've got our quick fires. So these are fast, predictable messages that can be used alone or in combination with other messages. These are things that we want to say often and we might need quick access to, whether it's yes, no, I'm not sure, excuse me. These are just quick access. We've also got different topics. So these are words and phrases that are organized according to topics that support interactions in specific environments. So if you were to go into the topics, you would find different phrases that you can use if you were, say, for example, at an appointment, if you were talking to someone about yourself, or the different scenarios where you might find yourself in. There are words and phrases in there that are personalized to support those interactions. We've also got a keyboard for users that might be emergent in their literacy skills or we want to work on their literacy skills. So where they can create and modify their own words. And we've got a variety of keyboard layouts as well. Then we've got an awesome search function where if you're really struggling to find a word, maybe you as a parent or a caregiver, you're trying to find that word, trying to show the user where it is. If you're unsure of how or where to find that, if you click on that search function and search for the word, it'll show you the pathway to finding that word as well for you to find it moving forward. So it won't just direct you right to it. It'll show you which buttons to press and how to navigate. So one of our goals is to have communication accessible to everyone, including within the school system. So in order to support this goal and how to make it successful, I think this is a great time to bring your attention to TD Snap for Schools, which is a program that we've developed where we give free TD Snap licenses to classrooms to help schools embrace augmentative and alternative communication. We provide teachers with the license to project on their whiteboard to facilitate a holistic classroom approach and help teachers become proficient in using TD Snap and practicing modeling for users in their classroom that might need it. So I've attached a link at the bottom of the screen and maybe we'll share these slides afterwards or we'll share it in the chat later. But if you're an educator and you want to learn more or sign up to have TD Snap in your classroom, you can follow that link and we'll also start trainings for educators who want to learn more about TD Snap and learn how to model. We'll be running trainings for that soon. So just keep your eyes posted for those. And then finally, just to wrap up on TD Snap Core first, that's the page set, the first one that we're talking about. So who's it for? Who's it appropriate for? Well, it may be an autistic child in the classroom who's really motivated by technology. It could be a child with a condition that causes significant impact in their speech intelligibility, such as apraxia of speech. Therefore, they need a system to help them repair and clarify conversations when they're unclear. It could also be an older student who maybe has experience with using low-tech AAC. They have symbol recognition, and we want to grow them out of that low-tech system. We want to grow them into a system that will help them pass their needs, just as a younger user into adulthood should they need it. So I wanted to bring this up just because you can see the variety of profiles that a system like Core First can be used for. It's not just children with autism. It's not just someone who has had low tech and now we're moving them into high tech. It can be used right from the get-go, right from the beginning. And we just want to outline the different profiles. There's no prerequisite for high tech AAC. And so just want to emphasize the variety of needs that it can cater to. Now I'll pass it on to Kirsten.
Okay, so the second page set that we'll talk about today is our motor plan page set. So the motor plan page set is where users learn distinct motor patterns associated with each word. So for the motor plan page set, all words are within 3 hits or 3 clicks or less, with the most frequently used words near to the home page. So for motor plan, it is available in 3 different grid sizes. So you have 30, 40, and 66. In motor plan, each word is only presented once. So basically there's only one path that it takes to get to each word. There are only 2 exceptions for this. That would be for the words orange and May. That's just due to the English language being the way that it is. So this way students will learn where a word is regardless of its meaning. So again, it's simplistic in the way that it can be navigated to 3 hits or less, meaning less navigation is required to access a very diverse vocabulary. If you want to go to the next slide, yeah. All right, so I guess sort of what do we mean when we say motor plan? So the principles behind motor plan kind of come down to consistency and efficiency. So I'm sure we've all kind of experienced it where we've maybe moved or deleted an app on our phone, but we keep habitually, swiping to it or trying to click where it used to be. We don't always rely on what the symbol for the app is. You just kind of know how to get there. And you can even do it while you're multitasking or talking to somebody else. Another example might be if you were cleaning and kind of rearranged your kitchen and suddenly you moved the cups and your plates around, and it might take a few weeks, maybe a month of going back, and you're habitually kind of reaching for where it used to be. So it may take, several times before you kind of reprogram what you're doing and using that muscle memory to what you're used to. So this is kind of what we mean when we're talking about motor plans. So the idea is that we can kind of keep this motor programming consistent so that the student or the individual is learning where that button is, and they can keep expanding and keep having that access to a large vocabulary. And then sort of one of the features about motor plan that I think kind of makes it unique is what we call our vocabulary filter. So for this feature, it basically, you could just turn on the vocabulary filter. Within a school setting, this might be handy if you're trying to focus on certain vocabulary, model certain core words. You slide the filter on, you can then highlight just the words that you want to be targeting. This way, they're still accessing that path. They're still learning that motor programming, but you can focus on specific sets of vocabulary. And then at the end, you can just turn it back off. You can set it so that you have it set for certain activities so that it's ready to go. Again, slide it back off, and they can still keep working on learning those different pathways. All right, so again, as Maria said, there is not a one size fits all, and we're not really here to tell you who it should or shouldn't be for. But, some ideas of who might benefit from it and who, we've seen it kind of help. It might be for a learner with complex needs who maybe requires support in accessing the screen. It also might be a good fit for students who are maybe not yet literate or not consistently identifying symbols. Again, the idea is that they're learning that they know how to get to a button and then this thing happens. So even if they're not quite there with consistently recognizing the symbol, this way they can be learning that pathway still. This also might be a good fit for students with visual impairments as well, again, due to that memorizing where the button is and how to get there. And so that will bring us then to our third page set.
So now we've got our third page set that we're going to discuss, and this one is TD Sanp Express. So again, this is also included within TD Sanp. It's just a third page set that we offer. And this one you can see is a little bit different looking. It's organized contextually into themes, and each theme contains words and phrases all related to that particular context. So this is in comparison to the core first page that's focused around core words. Express is structured around typical patterns and phrases that we might need within a theme. So the focus here is on communication intent rather than forming grammatically correct sentences using core and fringe vocabulary. And you'll also notice that this one has a lot bigger buttons, and this is a fixed 18 grid layout. So it's always going to remain 18 buttons just to ease that access in terms of finding vocabulary and navigating. So TD Snap Express, again, as I mentioned, is organized around themes and categories to make vocabulary easy to find and to decrease navigation demands. So the homepage has a toolbar that allows users to navigate quickly and easily to the chat, to keyboard, to the dashboard at the bottom. The chat includes important messages. And then we've got the keyboard, as we usually do. And then in the dashboard, what we've got is a whiteboard. We've got books and photos, self-regulation supports, and those are all built into to the dashboard. And then what we've got on the right are the blue buttons, which are those themes. So if the user wanted to communicate about something related to food, they would hit food and drink, or something related to maybe they're hurt, maybe they would navigate to body parts. And so that's how they're organized here in comparison to the other ones, which were those single words. So each theme contains orange message builders, which are words or short phrases that can be used in combination with single words to give flexibility around communication. We've also got single words in white, and then the blue buttons will open up additional vocabulary in the pages, in some pages. In some themes, they'll have entire phrases, something like, I'm hungry, or what are my choices? TD Snap Express focuses on the speed of communication by using supported message building, smaller number of buttons per page, and concrete message pathways. So the focus here is really on generating full messages with combination of phrases and words. So if someone on this page, which is places, you can see at the top, if they wanted to say they wanted to go somewhere, they might hit I want to go, so that orange button. And if it's here, those single words, then that's fine. They would hit maybe school, but maybe if it's a different place, then they would hit, let's say, geography. They want to go on holiday. They would hit geography, which would then open up more, another page with more single words within it. So that's what I previously mentioned. Again, message builders on each page, and you can see that there is those arrows. So these are just, again, there's space for personalization. So to navigate to another page, maybe there's more vocabulary, you'll just navigate with those arrows. It's just, we wanted to keep that 18 grid size to keep those buttons big, to reduce the efforts for navigation. So it's just a little bit more of those arrows to scroll to a new page. And it's, again, easy and familiar TD Snap editing. So the editing remains the same, whether it's TD Snap Express or Core First or Motor Plan. There's just, it's just via that little cog at the top. So who might benefit from TD Snap Express? So as Kirsten was saying, again, we don't want to tell you that these are not be-all, end-all solutions. These are just some potential users who might benefit from these specific page sets. But again, it's up to consultation with the speech and language therapist and really working with that user to determine what will work best for them. We don't want to match the user to a page set. We want to match the page set to the user and support the user and find the page set that works best for them. So for TD Snap Express, what some ideas we came up with is while both children and adults can benefit from TD Snap. We'll talk about just children in this example. So we've got some emergent communicators that might benefit. This might be their first encounter with AAC. They're just getting started. So this might be an appropriate solution if they're, maybe overwhelmed and with a lot of buttons on the screen. Might be communicators that speak languages not supported by other page sets. So TD Snap Express supports Welsh and Australian English, for example. So if the user speaks one of those languages that's best catered to through TD Snap Express, then that might be a good fit. Or, if the user's environment needs a simple but robust solution in order to ensure AAC is being implemented. So we know how important it is for the environment to be part of the whole AAC journey, that it's not just the user that uses it in isolation. So we really need that supportive environment. And if the environment needs that simple solution in order to be successful, then this might be a great choice. I'll pass it over to Kirsten again.
All right, so yeah, what we want to do now is just kind of, oh no, that's okay. Is you can put them up if you want.
Yeah. Okay.
Just kind of, highlight some of the consistent features across vocabularies, because, I think it can be sort of overwhelming just to have the different page sets. There's pros and cons to each. So what we want to do is sort of highlight the, the importance of having just a single consistent app that has a familiar feel to it. As Maria mentioned, once you learn the editing for one, you know them for all. So it's not that relearning. And then again, these consistent features you can have across our page set. So obviously, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go into all of these, but you can always ask us if you had any specific questions about any of the ones that you see here. But things like adding in board maker activities right into TD Snap, adding in visual supports, again, the editing, having access to the PCS symbols, they're always adding more. There's a data tracking across the different vocabularies as well. And then on the next slide too, you'll see just again the continuation of just more features here. So we do have YouTube player, you can sync in, you can add video clips in. There's books and photos that you can add in as well, which can be handy if you have individuals who want to, share photos with you that way. And another one is Google Assistant as well that I think people find handy, that you can be syncing it into any page set. So again, those are kind of the features that we have across the vocabularies. So we really just want to stress that TD Snap, we see it as sort of an assessment toolkit that can have a simple to use, familiar app with powerful and consistent features that help to meet their students' needs, regardless of the vocabulary set that you choose. And so with that, what I'll also do is, again, I'm not going to sit here and read off all of the different features that they have, but I think that this is a good comparison that we have available for our different page sets. So if you want to, take a picture, screenshot, or we can always send these to you after, it just, again, highlights the different languages that we have available. So that might be one thing that you're considering when looking at the different page sets. Again, the grid sizes that come with each of them. If we continue on here, then there's, again, things like whole message organization, the grammar support that comes with them all. So again, this is just kind of an overview so that you can see, the similarities and then also maybe some of the differences that might be able to help you choose a different set. Again, we're not really going to go into pod and gateway today, as well as the scanning, but again, you could always reach out to us if you had any questions around those, or if you had users that you think would be a good fit for those. And then I'll pass it back to you, Maria.
So just wanted to recap, we discussed 3 of our page sets within TD Snap to support AAC communicators within Send settings. And we also discussed the features of each page set and how it can fit the needs of that user. Ultimately, we want to highlight that regardless of the page set and user, first I'll just go into these. So we've got core first. We've got the core first sort of strategy that is organized around those core words. It has a variety of communication tools that can support the user within the application. It has a flexible grid size, so that can change, again, bigger, smaller, depending on the user's needs and preferences. Then we discussed motor plan, where we went into the fact that it's distinct to motor patterns. It focuses on reducing cognitive effort in navigation, which leaves more effort for learning those languages, and that communication as an aspect in itself. It's also got a flexible grid size, so it comes in a variety of grid sizes. And then finally, we touched on Express, which is theme-based rather than single words, where the focus is on communication intent, and it has a fixed 18 grid layout for Express. So we want to just really outline that it's the use and modeling of these page sets that determine success. And success might look different depending on the user. For someone, it might mean maybe they weren't previously looking at a device and now they're holding it in their hand. Maybe someone was communicating in single words and now they're putting two together. So success really does vary depending on each individual user. So we just want to emphasize how important modeling is across all subjects, across all environments, the day, different people, in order to gain that traction and make an impact in the user and their communication journey. So that's the end for us. And just thank you for listening to our presentation.
Thank you so much, Maria and Kirsten. Every time I made a question on my notes, you answered it. So it was really, really informative. Does anyone have any questions that Maria or Kirsten can answer? See, you were very informative. That's why. My only question that I did have was about the TD Sanp for Schools. I did pop the link to that in the chat whilst you were chatting, and I just wondered, does it offer the same thing that the paid licenses have? So if schools that we support are going to kind of download and reach out for a license, is it offering exactly the same experience?
Kirsten?
Yeah. So basically, it does offer, the same vocabularies and everything like that. Sort of the idea behind Sanp for Schools is that, again, we want to be focusing on the modeling. So this is great if you have classroom whiteboards or the interactive whiteboards. You can get a license for them so that you can, be supporting a user that maybe is already using it or you think might be a good fit for one of the vocabularies. So the features are the same that way. So yeah, you'd have the voice access and everything like that.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions? And John, are you asking a question? You're on mute. No.
No. There was a lot of information there, so I think it would be interesting to go back and explore each of them. Yes.
Absolutely, it would. Okay, then. So if no one else has any questions, thank you again, Maria and Kirsten. That was really informative and really useful for everybody. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.